Vanguard rides again. And today's topic is economics. Now, frankly, I don't know all that much about economics. I've taken courses on it in the past, and I read a lot about it in terms of the material that I usually read. But I am not going to pretend to be some economist or something. I'm just an armchair casual viewer of economic trends and an armchair investor, if you will, right? But recently, something came on my mind because of another video I saw and Eric July's big campaign that related sort of to economics. And it made me want to talk about something that I've been thinking about for a long time. Like, as far back as my teenage years, like when I was fresh out of high school, this is a constant thing that was on my mind. So, one of the big gripes about Eric July's big campaign, or his big success, is that the book costs too much. That's what his political enemies say. That's what we'll call them, because that's what they are. His political enemies say the book costs too much. It's about $30-something. I think like $35 when I paid. But you gotta remember, one, this is like a graphic novel pretty much. And then on top of that, Eric July is doing this on his own, by himself. His means of production aren't at the massive scale of some of these other corporations yet. As a matter of fact, the bigger corporations in the past, this is what they did to compete or to remove less powerful companies out of the mix. They would lower their prices because they had the means to do so. And currently, of course these corporations have the ability to offer cheaper prices because, one, they have larger, means of production. On top of that, they practically all work for the government. All these companies are sort of an arm of the federal branch, especially in the entertainment industry. I mean, this is well documented that the government has used various means of media in order to pump propaganda into the mix. But we're not going to get into that, okay? We're not going to get into that because that might blow your little brains. Not that your brains are little. I'm just saying, whatever. We're not going to get into it. It's a pretty deep dive. I mean, but you are well aware. We're just going to accept that before we go any further. So, yeah, these companies are not only, they're pretty much government stooges, and then they have larger means of production. They can afford to offer lower end prices. But if you truly wanted to support some of these local efforts or local entrepreneurs, attempts to separate from the larger conglomerates that currently run the world, from the government elites and CEO kings that control our economy and control our laws and that kind of thing, because it's a weird thing where the power flows in and out. It's crazy. It's like the government and conglomerates are practically the same thing at this point. That's the point I'm trying to illustrate here. If you wanted to separate, the key would be removing your money from these larger corporations and being willing to pay the higher prices to your local business people in order to help build them as an alternative. As Eric July states, the parallel economy. In order to create this parallel economy, you would have to make that sacrifice. For now, at least, until those parallel, companies that are within this parallel economy now have the means to produce more. So this is something that's always dawned on my mind because, I live in, New York, and sometimes I'd be in, around Harlem. And in Harlem, you would notice a lot of these, there would be a lot of, natural skin products and that kind of thing. Natural skin products, natural clothing, clothing made from different kinds of materials. Among many of the people there, they'll lay out these tables and they would have this stuff. And one of the complaints I'd see from many people when, someone would say to someone, buy from a black-owned business, is they would complain about the price. And I always found that so funny because, especially in terms of the skincare thing, it's like that person made that shit in, their room. They made that shit in, a tub. And it's the time it probably took them to make that, the time and skill, it probably was fucking hard. It's deserving of at least a lot of cash. And then to top it off, they don't have the means to produce as much as some larger corporations, so they can charge you like $7 or something. No, these things, they only have a limited amount, so the price has to go up, in order to account for the limited inventory they have. And then on top of that, it was harder to make for them than it was for this corporation that is mostly automated. So this is just something that crossed my mind. In order to support the parallel economy, in order to fight against the CEO kings and the conglomerate government, big government, I guess, right? In order to fight against them, you would have to support this parallel economy by making the sacrifice of paying higher prices. It's just the necessary, I don't even want to call it a necessary evil. It's necessary. I mean, many fans, people who've supported things like Ethan Van Sciver's Cyberfog campaign and other campaigns, they're well aware of this and they're used to this. So they know what the deal is with this. But just wanted to give everyone a sort of perspective on that. Because like I said, this is something I've thought about for a very long time. And it's always tickled my noggin as to why people didn't understand that. Anyways, Vanguard out. Oh, also don't forget to like and subscribe. I always forget to say that. And also, I have a podcast. Check that out too. It's gonna be in the corner. I literally always forget to do that. Did I? No, I did that in the wrong direction. It's gonna be in the corner. There you go. There you go. It's gonna be in the corner. Vanguard out.